So I'm going to turn this over to Damien and have him break down some scenarios for you so you can see what's going on from Floyd for this weekend's fight. So this week's vlog has a lot of special things going on. First things first, hope everybody's doing well today. Now, let's go back to fight stories. Now, the first fight of this month is Floyd Mayweather fighting Paul Logan. Big fight. So that's going to take place in Miami, Florida, June 6th. All right, now the following week is the YouTube versus TikTok clash, and that's going to be another big event. We'll touch on that one in a little bit. But in and of itself, because Floyd's fighting this weekend, I have the opportunity to come down to one of his gyms, MAyweather Gym in Torrance, California. And I was fortunate enough to be able to link up with the coach, Mr. Stibbe, Damien Stibbe, that he's going to go over a bunch of techniques with us, or techniques or combos that he would most likely think that Floyd's going to use against a much larger opponent, Paul. So I'm not sure, like Floyd's probably giving up a good 50 pounds. I got to check the scale and see what they weighed in at, or what they're going to weigh in. Because I think today's probably weigh-ins, but we'll work on that later. But in and of itself, so we're down here at the MAyweather Gym. We're gonna go over some techniques and break some stuff down and see what Floyd's probably gonna do in this fight to keep that big guy off of him, because I mean 50 pounds, that's a lot of weight to give up in a boxing match or any fight as far as that goes. So we're gonna break that down right now, and here we go. Boom. Everyone, so we're at the infamous MAyweather Gym in Torrance, California, and I was lucky enough to schedule some time with the coach Stibbe.
What's happening?
He's been in the fight game for, how many years have you been in the fight game?
About 15, 16,
yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Here and there, yeah.
Done the whole back even when there's like no rules, and then up to MMA, and now in boxing, that whole
the
whole, yeah, the whole anything combat sports, grappling, stand up, the whole thing. Mr. Stibbe's done the whole.
Dabbled in it.
Yeah, right. So like I said, I was fortunate enough to schedule some time with him today, and the main reason is because Floyd Mayweather is fighting this weekend against Logan Paul.
Indeed.
And he's giving up like 50 pounds, some insane amount of weight on that one.
And height.
And height, yeah, height too. So Stibbe knows the majority of all Floyd's combos, movements, and not only does he know them, but he articulates it very well. So being that Paul's such a bigger opponent, I was going to see what Damien thought, what combinations, what setups he might be using for this fight this weekend, so you can get a bird's eye view ahead of time to know what to look for when Floyd's throwing something to set up that knockout punch or whatever he's going to throw. So I'm going to turn this over to Damien and have him break down some scenarios for you so you can see what's going on from Floyd for this weekend's fight. So, all right, Mr. Stibbe, what you got?
So, being the bigger opponent, naturally he's probably going to try to pressure and crowd Floyd. Floyd's a lot smaller. A lot of people tried to crowd Floyd and pressure him, which makes him the best counter fighter. He's very intelligent with counter punching and movements, and his vision is top notch. So we know that those guys, those brothers, like to throw big right hands, coming forward with loopy right hands, and they like to pressure and stalk forward. A lot of times they step through, meaning they'll advance their step and walk through. So one of the tactics Floyd likes to use is a low jab, and what that works is it's baiting my opponent to overextend. So off that low jab, if we trick him, or if we set up the jab here, we snap, and that my opponent reacts to that jab, he drops and shoots a low jab. Boom! Again, we drop off line, he still covers his head inside, and it's the jab shooting up to the chin. So if this my opponent was here, he shoots the low jab up. On the way back up, comes up with a hook usually. So he hits the low jab, and he hooks back out and finds punching range now from here. Again, we're teetering out. So that low jab, and then the hook back, and from here, usually extend the right hand. So in the cadence itself, off the counter punch, he's gonna maybe slip off the right hand or slip off the jab itself. Hit the low jab. Again, as we come up, we bring the hook back, and we counter with that right hand. So my motion shifts from down, back, to forward. Constantly shifting. Again, off the low jab, as I come up, I check the hook and work the right hand. Now, the important thing, what Floyd does a lot, is drops and relocates off the right hand, meaning he doesn't just shoot and be stagnant and stay home. He drops and gets out. So we hit that low jab, hook, right hand, drop, and relocate. Again, the right hand, drop, and relocate. Because off of this big loopy right hand, drop and relocate. And now I'm gone, I'm cleared from my opponent, and I have a whole new set of real estate to work my counter punching.
That was really smooth. So off a bigger opponent, that works really well, right?
Yeah, we bait them and trap them. And normally you try to get under the big opponent. So when we're getting under, boom, we could work under his length and pick apart the height difference.
That was really smooth. And one thing we talk about a lot in the videos is a front foot or a back foot fighter. And so what's Floyd?
Counter back foot.
Yeah, he's a back foot fighter. So like a Chris Aldry.
And he can fight front foot though too.
Yeah,
and march heavy. Yeah.
So, but in this instance, it'll probably be more back foot, right, on that counter.
Lateral movement, a lot of lateral, I'm thinking, right? Maybe,
yeah.
So we'll see.
You'll be able to, now you can look for that and you'll know what to look for and what's going on when Floyd pops that off this weekend. Now, if you have questions or comments or a Floyd story, perhaps, please put in the comments below. Or if you want something in the future, I can come back and ask Mr. Stibbe. I'll schedule some more time with him. And I'll come back and maybe he'll bust some stuff out for us if you're okay with that. Yeah,
of course. I love that.
Okay. So yeah, please, if you have questions, comments, concerns, stories about Floyd, or maybe stories about Stibbe, you've seen him in the cage or the ring fighting before, because he's been in the game a long time. So I very much appreciate your time.
Likewise.
Okay.
If you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
Thanks.
So which video do you want to watch? You want to watch that video? You want to watch that video? You know, that one's really good. But on the other hand, that one helps the video you just saw.